Well, today in Washington, at least 100,000 people are expected to attend the 47th annual March for Life, the country's biggest and most important anti-abortion rights rally of the year. But one attendee in particular could put this year's event in the history books. President Donald Trump announced on Wednesday evening that he plans to speak at the March for Life. Now, he will be the first sitting U.S. president to attend the marquee anti-abortion rights event ever. CBS News reporter Kate Smith is joining me now from Davos, Switzerland, where the president attended the World Economic Forum a little earlier this week. So, Kate, what makes President Trump's appearance at this year's March for Life so notable?
Good morning, Anne-Marie. What makes his presence here so notable is that it's a tremendous departure of how presidents have typically handled this event, even conservative presidents. So prior to this administration, you saw presidents, voice their support for the event, even maybe phone into it, but they've never physically attended. However, the Trump administration has taken a different approach. In 2017, Vice President Mike Pence became the highest-ranking official to ever attend the event, and he's been going every year since. And last year, you saw President Trump actually attend the event via video stream. But today's physical appearance at the event is truly historic and, a huge win for anti-abortion rights activists.
So what's been the response to the president attending on both sides of the abortion rights debate?
Well, I spoke to the CEO of the March for Life yesterday, and they are just tremendously overjoyed that he's going to be here. This is a gigantic win for them. It's hard to overstate how much, how much it vouches for what they're doing to have the sitting president of the United States come to their biggest event. But of course, on the other side, you're seeing a lot of dismay. I also spoke to Planned Parenthood about how they feel about President Trump being here. And they say that it really solidifies the idea that they believe that he is tremendously anti-abortion rights and really wants to shut down abortion care in the United States.
What has the president's track record been like on this issue?
So here's where it gets a little interesting. Prior to Mr. Trump's foray into politics, he called himself very pro-choice. However, that all changed when he started running on the Republican ticket for president. Actually, while he was on the campaign trail, he even suggested that women should go to prison if they were to have an abortion, if it were legal. Ever since he took the office, his track record does show that he is anti-abortion rights. Today is the third anniversary of the global gag rule. He's also gutted funding for Planned Parenthood, as well as appointing a series of federal judges, about 180, that don't support abortion rights. And of course, the most important thing for people who support Roe v. Wade, Supreme Court appointments. So he has appointed 2 conservative justices, and the most important of which, of course, is Chief Justice Kavanaugh, who has been outspoken about how he does not approve of abortion rights and how Roe v. Wade, perhaps should be overturned.
So you sort of pointed out how the Trump administration has been showing sort of increasing support for this march from one year to the next. But it is an election year. And could this be part of the president's, 2020 election plan?
That's an excellent point, Anne-Marie. And I think it's hard to ignore the fact that his first time he's attending this march is an election year. And it also goes in this pattern that you've seen of Trump turning back to his evangelical base. Now, that has been the cornerstone of some of the support that he's gotten. And what we've seen is that abortion can be, bring up single-issue voters because it is so important to people who identify as deeply religious on that evangelical side.
Yes, of course.
And then also it's important to note, and then activists from both sides of this issue also find this year to be so tremendously important. You saw this Susan B. Anthony list, which is an anti-abortion rights political group. They're spending a record high number of $52 million on this election. And of course, Planned Parenthood is doing the same. They're spending $45 million on this election, targeting key battleground states, and it's the most they've ever spent on election in their entire history.
We've talked about this before, but why are they targeting these states? What's the concern?
They're targeting these states because these are just the general battleground states for the White House. So they're looking to appoint someone into the White House that is supportive of abortion rights. Because if you are Planned Parenthood, if you are an independent abortion provider, Roe v. Wade is so tremendously important. And the only thing that safeguards you from not having that overturned are your Supreme Court picks. And so for them, the White House is so tremendously important in making sure that the court stays in such a way that they are sympathetic towards abortion rights and understand the constitutionality of Roe v. Wade as it was decided in 1973. The other thing is there are also so many other things the White House can do. I mean, they can appoint federal judges that would ban they would find these abortion bans unconstitutional. So to them, it's really not necessarily about states that are anti-abortion. It's really about states that have the ability to flip the presidency.
All right, Kate, thank you so much. So Kate has been all over this issue. She's done a lot of reporting. You can read more of her reporting by heading to cbsnews.com. Also on our website, you will be able to watch the president's full remarks at the March for Life rally. His speech is scheduled for noon.